I'm here today with Michael Bahorich, Executive Vice President and Chief Technology Officer of Apache Corporation. Thanks for being here, Michael.
Thank you.
Michael, what are the new geophysical trends and technology trends in the industry right now?
Well, some have said that everything is related to everything else, and there's nothing different about that in technology. So in geophysical technology, we are part of the broader things going on in technology, and certainly computing technology is making a major impact in the world and in our industry. So what we see in computing technology, things are getting smaller, things are getting faster, the storage and the amount of data is increasing exponentially, and that makes a big impact in our industry as well. Now, one of the areas that we've been focusing on for decades in geophysics in particular is imaging. So what's now different about imaging and what's moving the needle in imaging is that we now have more sensors, and so that leads to more data. And particularly in subsalt imaging, then we have far more sophisticated algorithms to help us provide a higher quality image than we could in the past. I remember the early days of seismic imaging where we might have a 48-channel shot record. We would sort that into gathers, and it was always around how do we line these wavelets up to make a good image. And now our imaging algorithms are far more sophisticated in how they look at the velocity field and anisotropy and so many other things to help us line things up, which is giving us the quality subsalt images we could never get years ago. So certainly computing is making a big difference in imaging. It's also making a big difference in seismic acquisition as we get more channels. The electronics are so much more efficient now to get more channels and be able to get more out of those channels. One of the other things that's happening in technology and geophysics is multiple source technology. So it used to be that we would get a shot record and we would listen for a certain period of time and then we would go on to the next one. Well, now what we're doing is we are shooting on top of each other in essence and sorting it out later in processing. Now this became big first on shore, where we would use something we used to call slip sweep for Vibersize, where we would start a shot record and then start another, and then with Vibersize technology it's very easy to sort that out. But we moved from that into the marine space now, and we're becoming much better at sorting these things out, so that the cost of seismics come down substantially because of this. In fact, we had a recent survey that we shot in the Gulf of Mexico where we saved about $60 million using multiple source technology. So we'll be seeing more and more of that in the future.
Sure. So how important is the role played by big data and computing?
Well, in terms of big data, again, we've heard companies talk about the Internet of Everything or the Internet of Things. And what that is generally about is sensors and algorithms. And in our industry, probably one of the early areas where that made a big difference was in rotating equipment. And in rotating equipment, we would have sensors on the rotating equipment and then use algorithms to sense, is a bearing starting to go out or something like that. And then you can do proactive maintenance to keep things running, so that's critical. Well, big data is nothing new in many ways to geophysics because we have very, very large data sets. And so these new sophisticated algorithms can be useful in extracting and teasing out important information from 3D seismic surveys.
Well, we're hearing a lot about nodes, a different form of seismic acquisition. What can you tell us about nodes?
Well, nodes actually even does tie into the computing theme also. We think about the iPhone or smartphones in general, which have become so commonplace around the world. And the same principles in technology that gave us the iPhone give us these nodes, which are autonomous sensors out in the field. So we'll have in essence a battery, a sensor, a little computer, very much like a smartphone. And we can make these things very inexpensively. In fact, the raw cost for these is in the hundreds of dollars a piece. And then what's nice about that is you can put many of them out in the field, and the more sensors that you have in the field, generally you can often get better data with better sampling. So one of the other issues with the traditional systems with cable is that you often spend a good part of the day trying to figure out why one part of a spread is down. This is particularly true when you have tens of thousands of channels live. But again, with nodes, since they're independent, you don't need to worry about that, and you may have a few channels down, but if you have tens of thousands, that doesn't make a difference. And so your seismic acquisition is much more efficient in terms of time, and then in terms of quality, it's better because you have more sensors and therefore more information, better spatial sampling.
Very good. Excellent stuff. Thank you very much for being here.